What if your AI assistant lived in your computer, answered you through WhatsApp, and actually remembered the conversation you had 3 weeks ago? Not in some company's cloud, not behind a paywall, not locked in their app. On your hardware, under your control. I'm Lucas, and today we're diving into OpenClaw, the open source AI assistant that went viral this week, racked up over 100,000 GitHub stars in just 2 months, and sparked a debate about what AI assistants should actually be. And if I talk about OpenClaw, this includes Moltbot or ClaudeBot because those were the previous names, and it seems like OpenClaw is the final evolution. This is not a sponsored video. OpenClaw is free and open source, but it's also not for everyone, and we'll talk about why in this video. So let's start with the obvious. We already have AI assistants: ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity. They're powerful, they're useful, but here's what they are not. They're not integrated into your workflow. You open a browser, you type a question, you wait, you copy the answer, you paste it somewhere else, repeat. You use different AIs for different things, and they don't remember the context. Every conversation is isolated, or it bleeds in between conversations where you don't want it to. If you wanted to remember something, you have to tell it again and again. They don't live where you actually communicate. You're already in WhatsApp, in Slack, in Telegram, but your AI assistant, it's in a separate tab, in a separate app, a separate mental context. And most importantly, your data lives on their servers. Every message you send is logged, every file you upload is processed on that infrastructure. You're renting access and not owning the tool. And if you know me, I'm all about Web3, so owning your data is always good. This creates friction, cognitive overhead, and it fundamentally limits what an AI assistant can actually do. Because here's the thing: if it can't access your email, your calendar, your files, your workflows, it's not really an assistant, it's just a very sophisticated chatbot. So let's talk about OpenClaw. It's an open source, self-hosted AI assistant that runs entirely on your infrastructure. And there's been lots and lots of hype around this. Not cloud-based with local features, not download our app. It runs on your computer, your Raspberry Pi, your Mac Mini, or your VPS. And instead of forcing you into yet another interface, it meets you where you already are. So you can choose for yourself how and where to communicate with OpenClaw. It can be WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, iMessage, Signal, Slack, wherever you want to communicate. You text it like you'd text a colleague, it responds in the same thread, and because it's running locally, it has access to your actual tools, if you want it that way. Your files, your command line, your workspace, again, if you decide to give it access, because this is really powerful. And this is the key difference. OpenClaw isn't just a chatbot that pretends to be helpful, it's an agent that can actually take action. Let me show you what I mean when I ask list all markdown files in my demo projects directory. It shows learning Rust, home automation ideas, reading list, YouTube content ideas, and it's not guessing, it's reading my actual file system. This is on a VPS in my case. If I ask it, read the reading list file and tell me which book I should prioritize finishing first based on my progress, and I prepared this as a demo here, it opens the file, reads the content. I'm 50% through Pragmatic Programmer, 25% through designing data intensive applications, suggests I finish Pragmatic Programmer first since I'm already halfway. So this isn't a chatbot, this is an agent with real access to my workspace. How does it work? OpenClaw is built on gateway architecture, one process, multiple channels. It routes your message to AI models, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever you choose, and integrates with over 100 services via the Model Context Protocol. This is a game changer. The memory is persistent and context spans weeks. And because it's open source, you can extend it, audit it, and control every aspect of how it behaves. Let's talk about the origin story. OpenClaw was built by Peter Steinberger, an Austrian developer who sold his company for around 119 million and then got bored enough to build this. Always a great reason, become bored after you became rich and then build something amazing. This is how he did it. It started as ClaudeBot in November 25. The name came from Claude, his personal AI assistant, combined with TARDIS, because like Doctor Who's time machine, it's bigger on the inside. The mascot, a space lobster, because why not? Within 24 hours of launch, it hit 9,000 GitHub stars. By the end of the first month, 60,000 and today we're over 100,000. This is one of the fastest growing GitHub repositories ever. Media coverage exploded. Wired called it taking over Silicon Valley. CNET wrote about its wild ride and IBM analyzed its impact on vertical integration. The Guardian, Forbes, Axios, everyone wanted to talk about it. Then came the chaos. On January 27th, Anthropic, the company behind Claude, sent a polite email. Hey, Claudebot is a bit too similar to Claude. Could you rename it? At 8:03 a.m. Eastern Time, Steinberger announced it's now Maltbot. According to CNET, within seconds, bots sniped the Claudebot handle on X and posted a crypto wallet. Fake accounts reportedly shilled a Claude token that hit a 16 million market cap before crashing over 90%. So Steinberger accidentally renamed his personal GitHub account instead of the organization's. So bots grabbed Stay Pete before he could fix it. 3 days later, on January 13th, the project settled on its final name, OpenClaw. Open for open source and claw for its lobster heritage. And through all of the trademark drama, the scams, the security scares, the community kept building. Let's talk about some real use cases. What do people actually use OpenClaw for? I personally set it up to give me summaries on current topics like AI agents, what's new on crypto Twitter, on Solana, on Abstract Chain, on the general crypto Twitter sentiment, so several things. And it can actually prepare scripts like it did for this one here that I am going through right now. And this shows that you can actually use this for your specific purpose. So my plan is to automate my content pipeline as much as possible so I can record more videos with higher quality, with good research, and focus more on the creative part than all the stuff that comes with that. And beyond that, people are using OpenClaw for amazing things. For example, email and calendar management, triaging inboxes, flagging urgent messages, summarizing meeting notes, daily briefings for proactive morning summaries. Here's what you need to do today without being asked. Like I got summary of what happened overnight for the topics that I am interested in. Research and web search, find discussions about X from the last 7 days and synthesize findings. Automated workflows, when I get an email from that client, create a Notion page and notify me on Slack. So real automation chains, you can integrate N8N and everything else that you want to. For example, run it on the same VPS as your bot is running. Smart home control, if integrated, if you've connected smart home APIs, it can control lights, locks, thermostats. Code generation and execution, write scripts, save them, run them, debug them, end-to-end automation. We've heard from several users letting their OpenClaw bots or OpenClaw teams actually code for them overnight. Then X and Discord community activity. It seems like everyone is loving this. Devs love it, privacy advocates love it because it's not just a tool, it's a whole infrastructure and it is open source and you control it. Here's why OpenClaw is important even if you never use it. First of all, there's privacy. Your data stays local. No cloud logging, no tracking, no corporate surveillance. If you want end-to-end control over your AI interactions, self-hosting is the only way. Extensibility, you own the platform. If you don't like how it handles reminders, change it. And if you want to add a custom skill, then you can build it or use it to build it itself. The entire code base is MIT licensed, fork it, modify it, and create your own version of it if you want. Control, you decide the rules, which model, which APIs, which integrations, running on a local machine, with which LLM do you combine it. You could, for example, run Ollama on your own machine, so it never touches any APIs from Anthropic, OpenAI, and so on. You're not really renting access, you're the administrator. IBM actually published an analysis this week. OpenClaw challenges the assumptions that AI agents must be vertically integrated. For years, the tech industry insisted that only big tech could build reliable agents. You need to control the models, the memory, the tools, the interface, the security, all of it. And now OpenClaw says, well, not necessarily, as we see right now. Community-driven agents can work. They can be powerful, flexible, and safe if designed correctly. And the trade-off is you have to actually understand what you're doing, and this is super important. So let's talk about the risks. Let's be very clear. OpenClaw is not for everyone. This week, security researchers from Cisco, 1Password, and Axios raised serious concerns about prompt injection. If an attacker can manipulate the AI's input, they can make it execute arbitrary commands. This is super dangerous. Then exposed instances. Researchers found publicly accessible OpenClaw deployments with no authentication, API keys, chat logs, system access wide open. This is because people just followed explanations on X blindly, just thought, wow, there's an AI agent without any idea of how to set this up. They just went ahead and created VPS for the first time and thought, well, this is working just fine without knowing what they're actually doing. Supply chain risks. OpenClaw integrates with 100 and more third-party services by now. If one of those is compromised, your entire system might be at risk. Credential storage, config files store API keys. If someone gains access to your machine, they gain access to everything. Roy Ackerman, head of identity security at Silverford, said, when an AI agent continues to operate using a human's credentials, it becomes a hybrid identity that most security controls aren't designed to recognize or govern. So there's some new territory here. This is the trade-off. Power requires access. If you want OpenClaw to manage your email, it needs your email credentials. If you want it to control your smart home, it needs API access. If you want it to run commands, it needs shell access. More capability means more risk. That's not a flaw, that's the nature of agentic systems. So if you're a casual user who just wants a chatbot, stick with ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, whatever you're into. But if you're a developer, a power user, someone who values privacy and control, and you understand the security implications, OpenClaw might be exactly what you need, and it could be a game changer in how you work with AI. Run it on separate device, sandbox it, limit its permissions, audit the code, or don't run it at all and just watch how the ecosystem evolves. It's completely up to you. But what is next? OpenClaw is still very, very early. The docs are improving, the community is growing. The more it evolves, the easier it will get for people to actually use this. Better interface, better integrations and all of that. New skills are being published daily on Claude Hub, the marketplace for OpenClaw extensions. And OpenClaw is part of a bigger shift. Anthropic released Claude Cowork, IBM released Granite 4.0 Nano. Agents are moving from research papers to daily use. The question is no longer, can we build autonomous agents? It's who gets to build them, who controls them, and what rules should they follow? OpenClaw is definitely one answer. It's open, local, and user controlled. So if you're into that, then this might actually be for you. In the next video, we'll go hands-on, full installation walkthrough, onboarding wizard, first successful message. If you want to try OpenClaw yourself, head to openclaw.ai for the docs. If you want to watch me break it and probably fix it, subscribe because that's coming next. A guide on how to get started. I'm Lucas. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want everything on Web3, AI, and all of that stuff and want to follow along in my journey. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next part where I go into the actual guide. Let's go.